So I'm just going to punch them. So recognise and reward your people, number one. Pretty obvious. Retain with meaning. So that means retain relationships, retain your people, and talk to them like you care. Yep. Another really, really simple one, but not always done. Reignite passion. You've got to remember that sitting in a seat doing the same thing, it doesn't matter whether you're in a job, doesn't matter whether you're in your personal life, doesn't matter whether you're volunteering. You've got to continue to try and find something to reinvigorate. Reinvigorate. Reignite passion. Recruit for succession. Talk to me about that one, Darryl. Recruit for succession. What's the meaning behind that?
We find a lot of organisations that are fantastic organisations. They have a fantastic volunteering community. And with no offence, we all get to a point at some stage in our life where it's either a little difficult or I've done enough. You really have to start thinking about who is the next generation that's going to actually continue our mission, to continue the cause, to continue the club. So really need to look about what is, first of all, the succession. And, for all the presidents out there, for all the CEOs and founders of your organisation, you didn't start that for it not to continue.
It's a legacy piece, right? It's 100% legacy piece. And you can get caught up in your own legacy. It's not your legacy. It's a legacy of the entity by which you're virtuously trying to support and grow, right? That's what it's about. Yeah. I can tell a little story about that. I'm the president of a fairly large association. Love it. Love being on the strategic side. I've got a clear role that I bring to the table. I know what it is. I had a little contest for the presidency last year because I think people were trying to shape the way in which the association delivers its services and functions. Fortunately, I got up. But what was great is I went straight to that person and said, hey, I'm not going to be here forever. I've actually identified you've got talent and skills. How about you jump in as VP, take a year under the seat with me?
Smithy, in relation to sponsorship, my position is always value sponsor first. What can the sponsor do for my club? What can we do for the sponsor? And how do we actually make sure that we deliver on anything that we are obligated? So again, don't think from a position of, wow, this could be a sponsor and they could drop 20 grand on the table and it overburdens you relative to delivery and expectation.
But here's the spin on what you were talking about, I think is critical, mate. Sam. And Sam was reach out to the sponsor, but don't reach out just cap in hand saying, here's the typical brief. Think strategically. And in Sam, our strategic thought is that whilst 20 grand might be great at the club, imagine if you can power that into the community. Imagine what the sponsor feels about their relationship with you. It's not a one-way street. It's about growth of their brand, securing their opportunities to acquire customers, because that's what the sponsor should be there for. But if it's something you want to sustain year on year, build something strategic that adds value. So I think that's one of the biggest pillars of fundraising we can do.
So that relay is how do we tell that story that then actually revamps the enthusiasm in our organisation and the support. So it was a kind of a follow on from Reflect and Refresh, Smithy.
There's a sales storyline that goes something like this. It's 6 times harder to get a new customer or a new sponsor than it is to bring on and reform with an existing one. So from my perspective, one of those things is how do you rebuild trust? And trust is doing what you say. And too often sponsorships are a little bit of paper delivery, not delivery. It's telling what we're going to do, not actually doing. So there's this really big piece around how do you measure that? How do you performance manage to that? And if you look at the large end of town sponsorship, they manage this to the absolute last task. Why? Because they need to get that guy back or those people back or that lady back or whomever it is that's sponsoring them. They need them back for the next year. So there's this concept of long tail sponsorship built on trust. So go and rebuild the trust. I try and appeal to the pure nepotism of which the 20 grand, 15 grand goes into the signwriter down the road. Like, geez, man, like seriously. But you linked me to a really big piece of what we've been trying to work on. And for anyone that's out there, real estate agents or any service delivery agents or anyone that's a volunteer that's got a small business that currently sponsors in a big way their community, congrats and salutes to you. And that's why I'm super proud of where we've got to in a part-time capacity, because I know that we're signing on volunteers. I know that we're signing on organisations. I get a message every day in our digital platform that tells me how many hours we've got in platform. We're really close to 30,000 hours. 1 million hours is our aspiration. We're seeing people using our platform to swap their hours for rewards. This is not about us paying volunteers. We can completely reshape through quadratic thinking the 4 marketplace pillars that we serve: volunteers, community, small business, and large corporates. Everything just comes into play.